Shit, I'm live. Okay.
Asthma that supposedly already happened in Germany.
Not only that, it's the same guy that went to Brown University, supposedly, and executed someone there too.
Yeah, it is? I thought it wasn't.
I think they thought it was the same guy. And then he killed himself.
Yeah, well.
Find that, search that, because I think that is the case. I think that is what at least that's what they're saying.
You know what the purpose of MK was, right?
What?
It was to make spies, sex people that could change, like, I'm gay or straight, depending on what you need to get the info. I can kill you, I could fucking do it and not remember it. That was the whole point of the Manchurian Candidate program,
right,
which we started doing because supposedly the Asians were doing it, the commies.
Dun, dun, dun.
But no, it's an old art that comes from a long time ago, going back to Egypt.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Egyptians did it?
Oh, dude, Windows on the World, another great. The Mark Windows I had on Dover Kirk, and that guy's great because he has a video called Egyptian Crowd Control, and he explains a society based on OCD.
Brown shooting suspect, grueling academic climate may have taken mental toll, says ex-classmates.
Yeah.
Claudio Valente and one of the victims,
Was he bullied?
F.G. Lorio, both studied at notoriously challenging Técnico de Lisbon.
Yeah.
So the guy that we just watched the video about is him and that guy both were at the same university. So he killed that guy. They are saying he killed that guy, right? So he killed both that guy and the person.
Yeah. How many weird shootings are we up to now where there's all these weird details and we should shut up about it?
That is a weird one.
The guy that shot Trump's ear, remember that one? I guess we should forget about it.
They both graduated in 2000. Contemporaries of the two men described the academic environment as emotionally grueling. Only one was willing to go on the record, but several others expressed similar opinions. He was described as brilliant and competitive, but willing to help his colleagues out. He finished top of his class with an average grade of 19 out of 20, unusually high score for technical. Lorio, who was said to be an excellent student but more easygoing than Valente, finished with an average grade of 16 out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
But which one's Lorio?
I think the MIT professor.
Wow, so he was the less good student. So this guy was probably pissed at the less good student. That's why they whacked him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's why. Not anything to do with plasma physics.
Having known Claudio and having had a good relationship with him, we can't find any other explanation than a serious mental health problem exacerbated by resentment for not having achieved the academic career he dreamed of. You don't believe it?
No.
You think it's MK Ultra?
Hey, what happened to the guy that blew his Tesla truck up and then they said he was mad because the kid wasn't his and it was a
What
lie?
happened to that guy?
I don't know.
Sean
Ryan had the goods and we never heard about it yet.
Didn't Sean Ryan get a letter from there or something?
Yeah, a letter of nonsense, and then he said he had some kind of just never spoke about it.
That's it?
Minnesota conspiracy too. Because remember there was like a guy that killed someone.
Yes, that's right. You're right about that.
Yeah, letter I just was reading.
Oh my God.
It's fucking.
You know what I saw when you looked at
The
that?
Minnesota one's nuts because the lady that was whacked was the one lady that didn't vote for health care
That's right.
for the illegals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was, you ever see the speech that she gave? How terrified she was?
Yes.
When she gave a speech, literally, her voice was cracking. I know some are going to be harmed by this.
It reminded me of Charlie Kirk's text messages about how they think they can. You know, the things that we covered this on Jimmy's show for 3 weeks before he died, they were all piling on him that he's anti-Semitism. That piece of shit, she goes, "Watch your way, you're anti-Semite." I don't think Charlie Kirk was an anti-Semite. He called it ethnic cleansing on Patrick Bet-Value's show.
Called what ethnic cleansing?
Gaza.
Oh, right.
That's a big no. And then his funders were like, "Hey, what if you die? Who's going to take over?" That's the first thing they say to you when you come in.
He also said, was there a stand down? Was there a stand down order? He talked about that on Patrick Bet.
And guess what? If you watch Israeli news, there was. It's called the Hannibal Directive.
Go back to that, Jamie. What we call it? What we
So
challenge?
this is. It's typed out here, obviously, but it says this is the handwritten original.
Oh, Lance Bolton, this maniac.
He was trained. He said Tim Waltz wanted this done.
That's right. Well,
He says, "Dear Cash Patel, my name is Dr. Vance Luther Bolter, ED. What is that? Ed D. What is that?
I think an education degree.
I mean, don't bother me.
I am the shooter at large in Minnesota, involved in the. It says something two shootings.
Oh,
I mean, it's
look at
it's
that.
handwritten, I think.
I was trained by military people off the books starting in college. That's a very common thing.
I have been on projects since that time in Eastern Europe, North America, Middle East, and Africa, all in a line of doing what I thought was right in the best interests of the United States. Recently, I was approached about a project that Tim Waltz wanted done, and I blank, 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 and Keith blank, blank. We're also aware of the project. Tim wanted me to kill Amy Klobuchar and Tina blank. Tim wants to be a senator and doesn't trust blank to retire as planned and thinks she is going to stay on at the last minute. With Amy blank gone, Tim would get one of the Gen Senate seats, and blank wants to be governor. And Keith Ellison, spelling incorrect, would be rewarded with a lieutenant governor's position. I told Tim I wanted nothing to do with it, and if he didn't call off that plan, I would go public. He said he would call it hurt my family if I did SIC play ball. Then he set up a meeting with me and Mel blank and blank to talk about options when they had some people waiting to kill me. Okay, and what I did, I guess. I was able to get away by God's mercy, so I went back a short time later and shot both at both blank and blank. The purpose of this. You should notice how I didn't fire one round at any. You should notice how I didn't fire one round at any. You should notice.
I don't know how to sub. Figuring it out as I go along.
You should notice how I didn't fire one round at any police officers, and boy, did I have plenty of opportunity. Ask for the report on how many weapons and ammunition I had with me. Cops were pulling up right next to me in their vehicles, and I had an AK pistol aimed right at my head. And I could have left a pile of cops dead, but I did shoot one bullet towards law enforcement.
You can ask him.
I think he says I did not. Yeah. You can ask them because I support the police and didn't want them hurt. If they're hurting my wife and kids next time, I won't give them a pass. Okay. Then ask Tim Walsh if he knows me and see what he says. If he says he doesn't know me or never met me, look in the files and you will see that Tim Walsh personally appointed me as to be on his governor's workforce board. Why they needed to get their stories figured out first so everyone was on the same page about, in quotes, what happened. Tim is probably crapping bricks right now because I'm still at large and he knows what I can do and that I know about where all the buried skeletons are. So I'll be shot on sight. You can bet on that. I will be shot on sight. First of all, is this a legitimate letter that was sent to Kash Patel? Did this actually get sent? Is this true?
Looks like it.
No, but what do we know about this? This is not misinformation, talking about.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So this is the actual letter this crazy guy
He
sent.
sent it to the FBI. Whether or not
Okay.
it's real, who knows?
Right. So here's the next question: did this guy actually work for the governor's office? Did he actually work for Tim Walsh?
Well,
This is all the suspect details. What he did.
He's claiming it's like secret. That's kind of what he's
Is he claiming it's secret? So
Well, he said something you could check, but by the way,
Right.
this is a drop in the bucket. There's
well, I
some
understand, but I
stories-
want to know if he's completely crazy, or if he never really worked with them, if he just made all this shit up. Right? Because that is possible. The guy's out of his fucking mind. He shows up at someone's house with a mask on. He's clearly out of his fucking mind. Right?
I mean, you'd be surprised what out of your mind
Right.
people work
That's
with.
true. That's true. But I mean, open mind. Right? The guy might have just been out of his fucking mind and never met Tim Walsh. It could be total bullshit.
I guess I doubt it very much.
I don't know. Said the attack appears to be politically motivated assassination. This is what Tim Walsh said. State officials and authorities early on Saturday encountered what appeared to be a police vehicle with emergency lights flashing in the driveway of Representative Melissa Hortman's house. Officers at the home saw Boltler, dressed as a police officer, shoot an adult man through the open front door, according to a criminal complaint obtained by the Minnesota Star Tribune. Suspect exchanged gunfire with police and ran into the house. So he did exchange gunfire, according to this. Ultimately disappearing from the area, according to the complaint. We don't know if that's true. Hortman, the top Democrat in the Minnesota House, and her husband were both killed at a nearby home. Senator Senator John Huffman and his wife were also shot, but are in stable condition after surgery. So, and that lady who got killed was the one lady who voted against it. And that I sent you that, right, Jamie?
A long time ago, you sent me that.
Yeah, that one's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, Vance
You
Bolter
see
is
her-
a real weird.
You see her talking about it.
Yeah, she looks still a bit upset.
Yeah, she looks super shooken up that she made that vote, and she looked like legitimately nervous.
Have you ever seen the guy from Utah? His last name's, I want to say Ron Leavitt. His last name's Leavitt, and he's the DA that called the press conference to announce that he's not a satanic cannibal to get ahead of.
No.
And by the way, no one was accusing him of that, so people
Not yet.
took it real weird. They were like, "Why would you fucking come out and say something like that?"
Tell me this: why do some people not want to even consider the idea that someone was assassinated at the behest of powerful people. Like, why?
Because they're programmed not to. That's why it's called programming, and it works.
Right.
It's worked the whole time.
They're programmed to think there's just one sick individual who commits these crimes, and it has nothing to do with powerful people.
How did Jerry Sandusky get away with it? How did they look? Think of the classic Spotlight case, because Barry Crimmins is a good friend of mine. I remember Barry. I remember asking about shit. He goes, like, I wouldn't throw my, I do real work with people, so if I just get behind a thing, I could cost my credibility because I have to like really help. Actually, we went on tour, and every town, dude, I met people that he helped navigate the fucked up legal system in South. It's like the Equalizer from that show, The Equalizer. But there's also a side of Barry that was 4 years old from now, okay, because of what happened. That's what happens in trauma. A part of you freezes at that age.
Yeah.
And especially at 4, that's like a split. You split. And that's a real thing. They said it was debunked for quite some time, but I met some people with Barry, and he had helped these girls. I can't remember where we were. I want to say it was Pennsylvania, but I might be wrong. But their dad was the mayor, and they had repressed memories, they told me, and he helped them with all their legal shit. And I think they got some kind of justice, but I thought that was debunked. Epigenetics is called now, by the way. It's a legitimate thing. Generational trauma around whenever BLM happened, if you look at 2011, that's made up. There's no such thing. But all of a sudden around BLM times, generational trauma is real. It's called epigenetics. The reason it's called Project Monarch is because the butterflies can genetically transfer information, like learned information, And you'll see all that butterfly shit. King Charles has that butterfly on his shoulder in his weird meat picture. Right? He's got a little monarch on his shoulder.
That's what that's about?
Well, I think so. I mean, you don't got to take my word for it. Consult your local library. Anyway, I just finally got this in the mail, but I got you one.
What is it?
Mormon Monarch, J.R. Sweet, and he explains a lot of shit about the Mormons and the program he was in. And I fucking can't, let me put it this way. If you ever wonder what was inside of Mount Shasta, it ain't the Lemurians. Put it that way.
I don't know what you just said.
You don't got Mount Shasta shit.
I have no idea what you just went on. The most off-tangent, different. If you just dragged me into the woods with that conversation, I would never get home.
Okay, Monarch is the MK Ultra continuation.
Got it.
You know what happened? It got disclosed.
What does that have to do with this?
This guy was stuck in there.
Lemurians?
Well, Mount Shasta we have a base in Mount Shasta, as you know. He has a whole chapter in there about going inside Mount Shasta.
I didn't know that we have a base in Mount Shasta.
But you ever heard of Shasta, like just based on pure like UFO shit? It's very famous.
Probably I maybe forgot it.
The famous story. There's a story where a kid he got his grandmother. They had bites on their neck when they woke up camping. The kid he walked off with some
Like a vampire.
They thought it was like a spider or something, but this little kid, he thought it was his grandmother, and he said, he goes, I like his real grandma better than the mean grandma that took him and they made him shit on a sticky paper in a cake. Dude, it's crazy. I thought you already heard this story from the guest.
This is what
I learned who shows up your show.
Like shitting on everything I heard here.
I thought I did.
You might have. You might have. So he had a shit on something? A piece of paper?
Yeah, I think there's a sample. Yes. It's a famous Shasta. Shasta has so much. There's a lot of cults around Shasta.
Really?
Oh yeah, it goes back. The history goes back a long way. And
why do you think that is? Do you think they're doing like mental experiments in the town, on the town folk?
Something is there in the mountain already. I don't know exactly what it is, but something bad is already there.
Like a UFO base. Do you think any of the UAP shit is actual aliens?
Dude, I don't fucking know because.
Or actual interdimensional creatures.
So let's be the most conservative and say there was never a mass mind control thing and only a few rogue psychologists planted false memories in some people's heads, right? That's what they say.
Right.
Some bad psychologists planted fake memories in so it's possible to do that. So you're telling me I could, if I was a shitty psychiatrist and I had hypnosis,
right.
I could think you went on a fucking secret mission to Mars and you would feel like it's real and I could say you were satanically abused and you would have those memories as if it really happened. So if that power is real, what are the odds that it was just a few psychologists or the United States fucking government? Because I'm going to bet on the government. So there's no telling, dude, because if I can
Right, but those two ideas are mutually exclusive. Like, just because the government can put like satanic cult ideas into your head, it doesn't mean that you haven't had an experience with some sort of interdimensional or extraterrestrial
that's a
entity,
good point.
and that erased your memory.
Right. You don't got to tell me and my golfing
The
life.
problem is that hypnotic regression is like you are open to suggestion, and you have to kind of listen to what these people are saying. The weird stuff is
Yes.
the weird stuff is the people that didn't have hypnotic regression have the same stories as the people with hypnotic regression. And that's from a long ass time ago.
Yeah, dude. Okay,
There's
so
a lot of weird ones.
what about, okay, I got a great book by Michael Hoffman called The Twilight Language. The Twilight Language is in Buddhism, and it kind of refers to a coded language, but it's NLP. What is NLP? I want to talk into your subconscious. So when you see a pickup artist, so that dipshit Andrew Tate, he had a nerd pickup artist that was like his court wizard. The guy called himself Iggy Semmelweis. That's not his real name. He's some dork that would wear like Chinese shirts and a fedora. Yeah. And so Andrew Tate was a reality guy and he wasn't taking off. Then he gets this fucking hypnotist who used to be in the Rajesh cult from Wild Wild Country. Have you ever seen that?
I love that show.
Yeah, they left out the stuff done to kids, by the way, that cult, strangely.
Oh, they left that out in the documentary.
They imply people just fucking in the streets and whatever this town was. They're kids. And if people are that loose with their sexuality in a hippie way there, what do you think happened with kids? Real bad stuff. And you can find those kids talking about it. I was left out. My guess is some liberal shit about, oh, this might support a QAnon, right? Remember when you had fucking rosacea fake?
But the whole thing is so negative anyway.
But we still have to keep you from believing that your leaders would do things like you've heard of Aztecs doing. Your white leaders would not do Aztec shit. That's just what cartels did in Africa.
Yeah, but in the documentary, they talk about how they poisoned the entire town.
It's still not as bad as wholesale trafficking of children.
So you think that was a part of that whole cult? Was wholesale trafficking?
I believe 100% that was a part of it because if you got a weirdo cult like that with little kids,
Right.
guess who gets attracted to that?
I know, I understand, but why would they ever do something like that out of the documentary?
Because the same reason Flint Dibble can't handle the idea that there was a civilization before. It might lead to Nazism. Rosacea. That little creep Flint Dibble. Do you understand how these people are? They think that you're not. But you might get the wrong idea and distrust authority if you think so. Because they don't want to start a satanic panic, right? They will purposely deny shit like conservatives do. By the way, the conservative, if you're like, who cares about Epstein? What are you talking about, dude? Why would you say something like that?
Right.
And people that I like have said it to me.
They're not thinking.
No,
They're just saying it.
but I've
They
heard
hear
the
it so
phrase
much. It's like,
hypnosis.
oh, you think that's what it is?
Dude, that's what that's a scrying device. That fucking thing. You got a North
Maybe
Korean
that's
in
why
your
I'm
pocket.
doing good lately. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, well, listen, if you, I have to because I don't have a bunch of money, so I gotta pay attention.
Listen, I get it. I've been there. It's just like I think you find out enough from your friends.
You remember the thing you sent me?
Which one?
Is when that stupid feminist